Hey, what's up guys? It's T-Bone here. Welcome to another stream today, and we're going to be talking about the Return to the Wasteland event. It is a Dark Slayer event, and what I wanted to do in today's episode, today's stream really, is to talk about, the cards that they've come out with. There are some changes to the event because it's a VIP event. There are some changes to the packs, and there are some updates as well, so I'm definitely going to be covering some of that. There's also the Hellboy sort of event that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about the card that's available right now and also just kind of what to expect later on. And finally, there's some community events I wanted to cover, but I'm going to do that after I've had a chance to talk about the cards themselves. And so just welcoming everybody to the chat here. So we've got Naya Alpha, Kevin Jackson, MWP, and Joshua Davis and Chris Fan. Hello, everyone. And Kevin, thanks. My daughter is feeling better. It was a rough few days, but we managed to to keep her temperature under control. So everything is okay now. So thanks for checking. All right. So like I said, one of the things I do want to make sure I cover are the cards. For anybody who's going to be watching the video afterwards, I'm going to spend the first few minutes just kind of do what I usually do, and that is talk about the cards. We'll talk about the strengths, weaknesses of these cards, and what I think about them, whether they're worth getting or not. And so we're going to start with the Master Collection. This is the event card, actually. Slime Launcher Stiff. And so this is... The first thing you'll notice that this is a cursed card. And now we've had a cursed event before. That was the sort of the Fire Halloween card, but that was a secondary type. And it was actually a special cursed, and now it's just cursed. So the problem with this is that there is no relics currently available that will boost cursed. And so this is going to be one of the things that you need to think about for this particular event, in that none of us are going to have any of the relics that could help this out. And so let's take a look at the battle skill here. So this is the event card, and the battle skill is called Gatling Goo. And what this will do is create 2 Dark Power Gem 1s, and then it will receive its own buff. So it basically creates a buff for itself. And when, for now anyways, it's for itself. And when it's active, what this will do is it will strike an additional time on its attack, dealing 50% of the damage of the main attack. And so I wanted to take a few seconds to explain this mechanic a little bit. I've had been thinking about it a little bit, and I'm going to give my take on it and my interpretation of that. And I also need to go back and take a look at the damage video, sort of the event video to confirm that or not. But basically the way this works is it's going to create power gems, and then when it places its buff, the next time you attack, because it's only active for 1 turn, what it will do is it's going to do an attack, and then whatever the attack value it is, it will then deal, basically do a nuke damage, 50% of that value. Now, the key thing here is whether it's going to be 50% of the attack value or 50% of the entire damage, and also whether it's 50% of the damage of the entire deck or by itself. So there's a lot of unknowns here. Now, knowing how Lalo worked is that it will store up all of the damage, over 3 hits, and then when it releases that as a nuke, it also benefited from the key boost. So like you'll have a 5 times bonus, and it benefit from the affinity bonus. So, and also the Slayer bonus, basically any bonus they have, because it was damage. So the thing I'm thinking about here is a 50% of the damage, which would mean 50% of whatever the damage was, and then does it get any boost or not? I don't know. If it does get the boost, then this is going to be a really good attack, but I would assume it doesn't. So we'll see. I have to check it out just to confirm. And so the Master Collection card is very similar. It's a much better version of the event card, in that it also has a battle skill that will create 2 Power Gem 4s. So instead of Power Gem 1s, it creates Power Gem 4s. And it also receives a bonus attack. So I guess what this will do is you can stagger this. So if you have both the Master Collection card and also the event card, you can actually stagger the battle skill so that you could continue to get additional damage. And this one will actually deal 100% of the damage of the main attack instead of just 50%. So it'll deal more damage as a nuke damage. and it'll be 100% instead. So like I said, depending on how the nuke damage is calculated, I think this will be a pretty interesting card. But by itself, it's kind of weak because it only creates power gem 4s, 2 power gem 4s, and so you're not gonna get the sort of really the necessary number of power gems needed to really create a big attack. So you're gonna have to use other cards to help out here. Now it also has a passive here where it does create 2 power gem 2s every 4 turns, and it also will dispel 1 buff from the enemy. And the buff are things like, fear or might. Something like dodge is also a buff, so it will actually dispel that as well. And this is an immortal killer, so it's going to be dealing extra damage to God, and I think gods and elves. I can't remember anymore, but definitely God cards are going to get the additional damage there. And so that's the event card. And then if we take a look at the other 2 or 3 cards now, we can take a look at the ultra rare card. And basically this card will, has a 2-turn cooldown. So these cards have pretty good cooldown rate. It'll create 3 dark power gem 2s, and then it's going to increase the Dark Slayer attack by 20%. Up to 20%. And so it's only 20%, but I think they stack. And so this is something that in a Slayer event, when you can boost attack, is always good, but it's just that boosting it by 20% isn't very significant. That's just my take on it. And just saying hello to a fellow guildmate, Xiaolian. Welcome. And let's see, Marcus, it's on the same turn, damage dealt 5 times. Right. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you do get the damage that gets dealt 5 times with the boosted attack. So that is good to know. So I think that if you can get a really nice big attack in, then your Master Collection card and your event card will be able to deal additional good damage there. And Spawner X, welcome here. So as far as the ultra rare card is concerned here, it's a 2-turn cooldown, and you can create 3 power gem 2s, and it has a 6 gem charge rate. So this is nice. Like when you get a very low charge rate, that's when that's when you can play fast. In a Slayer event, you kind of have to be able to really play fast here because of all the people hitting the bosses. But I'm not sure how this is going to work out in the event here. So let's take a look at the ultimate form here. So the ultimate form will create 2 dark power gem 2s plus 3 power gem 2 dark power gem 4s plus 3 power gem 2s, so a total of 5. And then this will also receive the bonus. So in this case, it doesn't actually deal more damage. It's still capped at 100% damage of the attack. So again, as mentioned in the chat earlier, it is going to deal 5 times the attack. And as Colin William Deep has just noted, the UF does lose the attack buff from the UR, which is a shame, because I think that the whole point of getting an ultimate form card is that it gets the best of the 2 worlds, and so I would have liked to see the attack buff there as well. It does get the passive that will create 2 power gem 2s, but I would have expected this to actually create 2 power gem 4s, sort of like keeping in the sort of the trend that that we've seen in the past, where the passive ability actually gets a little bit better. I would have expected to see it in the ultimate form, but I didn't see it this time. And so the last card is going to be the support card. So this is a pretty good card actually. So by itself at 5 stars, it will create 8 dark gems, and it will heal for 5,000 of hero recovery. Now this card is a warrior type card, and so what that means is that its health, its heal recovery value is going to be lower than an attack card or a defender card, but it's a pretty balanced card overall. So I think that from a heal perspective, it's going to be pretty good still. Now this card though does have a long cooldown of 6 turns, and I don't know if it goes down at 6 stars. And charge rate at 5 stars is 12 gems. So I believe it'll go down to 9 at 6 stars. And so taking a quick look at the boss's sort of skills there. So we've got armor, and also the ultra rare card will dispel counterattack. So there's going to be counterattack, and so any card that can dispel buffs are going to be useful there. So that is why the Master Collection card with his passive to dispel buffs is going to be useful for that reason. And then there's also Trader. So Trader is not a buff. Trader is actually a debuff against the cards themselves, where every time you attack, you deal some damage. And so that is pretty much the cards for this particular event. My thinking is that it's interesting because I don't see how this deck by itself works as well as some of the other decks we've seen, sort of like, a complete deck. Again, I haven't seen the deck video just yet, but just looking at the cards here, you're sort of, you're losing out on some of the power gem numbers, but I guess if you combine them with a few of the support card, then you're going to sort of fill out the board. Again, it's always about the number of boards and also power gem combination. So that's probably where you're going to get the damage there. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about is this card here, Hellboy. So a lot of discussions, a lot of people talking about this, and basically I specifically asked about this card. So some of the things that you can take away from this is that it's going to be a light honored event. Okay, so this is going to be a light Slayer card that will be applicable, will be event card in 3 weeks when the event actually goes live. And it is a Slayer commander and also bounty hunter card, which makes it a really good card for a bounty hunter. So if you use light bounty hunter cards, this is a good card to add into it. And also I would expect that the bounty hunter to take place during the event, because typically I see it on during Slayer. And so if that happens, then your bounty hunter will be boosted to 10 times. So you're going to be able to get more trophies that way. Now the thing is, the battle skill for this card doesn't change. It will it'll basically create 8 light gems, and it will do a double nuke of 500% attack and then the 5,000% attack, and it doesn't change at all, whether it's 4 stars, 5 stars, or 6 stars. The only thing that you're going to get different is the attack value, and it does require crowns. All right, so it's kind of like evolving a legend card. So it's going to be tougher for people who are new. So if you haven't yet invested in this card and you're relatively new, you don't have crowns, this is just something to expect. Treat this as a collector's item rather than a card that is meant to be a really powerful card. So I haven't bought it yet. I've been thinking about it. I do have 20 days to make my decision on it. And so, I just kind of think that it is a cool card. And I did ask also, I don't believe there's going to be any other cards for purchase through cash. So all the other cards, all the other characters that you see from the movie, they're going to be event cards for the upcoming event. And I'm actually really excited for the boss card. I believe it's going to be Mila, who I actually I enjoyed her movies, and I really like her as an actress as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. So looking forward to the event in 3 weeks, and I'm definitely going to be doing something for that event. So stay tuned for that. And so that's sort of, a couple of things I wanted to cover for the cards here. And, I would love to sort of hear what your thoughts are. And also, before I go on, there's a couple of things I just also wanted to note here. So for this particular event, one of the things that they did was they actually announced the Frenzy Boss skills. And so instead of showing the form here, I'll just kind of show you what decks I've built around them. So I guess I probably labeled them reverse. So I built a water team to go up against fire, and this is going to counter blind. And this is I can counter blind through using my Kata. And then a fire boss is going to cast weaken. And this is where I am going to really be excited to use my Reforged Wukong, who also dispels blind. And his battle skill is that you get a 40% chance to strike with 500% increased attack. And so I wasn't able to try out in the last Slayer event because he didn't actually have that. So I'm looking forward to giving this chance here. And so now the other card that also dispels weaken is the event card from the last time, Agaricus. And so that's the team here. And then the Earth boss casts poison. Now my team actually, I just decided not to have a poison dispel because I have the Baleful Bride that can help me heal, and so I'm not too concerned about it. I think this has been pretty consistent that the Earth team is poison. And then blind is going to be the dark boss, so the dark boss will cast blind here. So that's what Morte Thronos is here for dispelling. And then the light boss is going to cast Weaken. So I have Loki as the card that will actually dispel it. And so these are the cards, these are the boss skills to expect. So that's something to keep in mind there. Now, Spawner 22, that is something I'm going to cover as well. And so I definitely want to talk about that, and I definitely want to touch on that. Now the last thing that there was one more thing I wanted to do, if I can remember. I talked about the cards, and I talked about I wanted to talk about the collection cards. And so the collection cards this time around are not too bad. So you've got Balava, which is a dark gem spawner. So this will create gems for every 2 turns. Basically, this is like a Domi card for dark. And then you've got also Soul Reaper, which is an amazing card. This is just like Ra, and also Satyr. And so if you're missing a card that can give you a dark power gem spawn, this is the card that I hope you get from the free 5-star collection card. And then finally, there is also the ultra rare card Crystal Phoenix, which gives you a revive. So if you don't have a revive card, or you don't have a revive relic, this is a card that's going to help you out in some GVG if you're up against a boss that doesn't have flatline in the beginning, and you have some dark cards that can help you out. So all in all, I think that this is a pretty reasonable collection. I'm actually just going to go ahead and collect my runes right now and see how things go. I don't have high hopes. I have been getting really bad luck with my rune collections there. And so it looks like actually it's okay this time. I didn't get any duplicates, so that's 3 cheers for celebration. All right, and so this is basically the event here. I think that if you can get the Soul Reaper or cards like that, that is definitely going to help. And some people already mentioned in there they're on a boycott, and so I am definitely going to be talking about that. And so what I'm going to do is talk about my strategy for this event, and then we're going to go into that. So I'm actually thinking like I have pretty bad Dark Slayer deck, to be honest with you, in terms of the 3.0. So if you look at my cards, so the last Slayer card I got was a single support card. So I've been sort of running this card with my team using Hell and also 2 Soul Reapers, just so I can get a little bit of additional damage, but I lose out on the heal. And so and then I also need to use the Mouse King in order to really power my cards up. So I might use my Mama Legba as well. I got her and I never got a chance to use her much. And so there's like other cards I want to take advantage of, and I also have the Crystal Phoenix in here as well. So I'm going to play around. I haven't decided on what I'm going to do just yet, but at the very minimum, I'm going to hope for the event card so that I can try out. But I would actually rather get another Soul Reaper. I mean, just like, more damage. So anyways, now what I wanted to do is open up the floor for the chat as well. It's been about so I spent 17 minutes talking about the cards and events. I'm not sure what you guys think. I think that I'm curious about 2 things. I'm not sure if you're gonna get to keep your ultra rare card and your master collection card, because if you do, then this is obviously going to make the team very powerful. But I just don't know about the deck itself. This is one of those decks where I look at it and I think, okay, so there's definitely potential for the nuke, but you don't have the cards to support that damage that you really want to you really wanted to deal. And so I'm curious about that. So now what I want to do is cover sort of what's going on around the community, and I'm going to talk about my position on it as well. And this is something that you've probably already heard. Now if you haven't heard about it, there is there was an organically sort of built up effort to try to sort of get the players' point across. There is a boycott happening this particular event. The message is that they are looking to have no money spent. All right, that's the general message. But before I go any further, though, the thing I do want to stress here is that the most important thing to remember here is that this is really supposed to be a no judgment type effort. It is a community effort. It is something that has garnered a lot of support from a lot of different people who feel like they do want to see the game go in a different direction. But the most important thing here is also that you are free to play however you want. All right. So if you want to spend, if you want to, buy gems, if you wanted to buy cards, you should feel free to do so. You shouldn't feel pressured to sort of follow what other people are doing and feel that you're going to get criticized or judged by it. That is the most important message that I'm going to continue to stress here if you about this boycott. And if you hear about other people talking about it, and just hopefully this would be the message that you hear from anything from this episode. And also, if anybody points fingers or kind of makes you feel bad about your decision to play, then I would say that would not be the right spirit here. And really, we should be as a community, we need to come together and support each other rather than take each other down. We all make our decisions. This is a game. At the end of the day, we all play it for our own reasons. Now, I will talk about my own position about it. You might have noticed I typically don't talk much about boycotts, and I've been really thinking about it a lot on how I wanted to deliver this message here, and that is because I personally have been pretty neutral about it. I do want to make sure that people benefit from the game, and I do want to see changes that are beneficial to the players. And I have always focused my channel on helping people understand that you don't really need to spend to do relatively well. If you don't spend, you probably can't compete at the highest level, and I can't help those players much, but I can come and I can talk about deck ideas and ways to be creative, and that's actually what I enjoy more. I haven't been a VIP for a very long time now, and as you've seen, except for the last time when I purchased packs for the Water Slayer event, I haven't spent any money at all. All I've done is spent my gems, and I've been smart about where I spend my gems. And so for this particular event, I will continue to do what I'm doing, and that is, I will invest in cards that I feel are useful for me, and I'm going to play the game as I always have. But know that I do want to make sure that you hear that, hey, there is something going on, from the boycott perspective, and William actually has just put in the sort of the points there. And there's actually there's a couple other resources you can take a look at as well if you wanted to know more about it. In fact, there was also a podcast that KDC Esquire and Fury and Cloud has sort of done that just came out today. I listened to it, and it was a well put together podcast that kind of talked about sort of their thoughts about the game. Now, personally, I've remained pretty positive about the overall game and whatnot, mostly just because I still feel that there are other elements which has really been improved compared to previous last year or the year before that. There are things that haven't gotten better, and I'm positive about it, but I know that there are still things that could be better. And the whole point is to get the attention from network to start this dialogue and to really sort of make the changes that they're looking for. And definitely some of the things that I know that people want is, well, the Dust Store update. That's something that's been talked about, and that's something that we continue to wait on. But there are other points in there, and there are 3 main points of the boycott. And I encourage you, if you wanted to learn more about it, to take a look. But again, my personal position is I've always advocated for playing the game your own way. Play how you want to, and don't feel pressured by anybody else to tell you what you should do otherwise. For me, I play this game because I enjoy it. I love what I'm doing right now with the videos, and also being able to engage with you guys. I enjoy doing this, and if I didn't enjoy the game, if I didn't want to play anymore, then I simply wouldn't. Right. And so I do play how I would want to play, but I've been doing this in a way that doesn't require me to really spend. And I've also started to just try to relax a little bit, play, enjoy my time with the people that I'm playing with. And it has been a lot of fun. And I'm hoping that this is the same for you as well, that you can find enjoyment out of the game. And obviously, if the game team can make additional improvements, for the entire community, both for the pay-to-play as well as the free-to-play players, then this is going to just make it that much better. And so this is sort of my position on it. Sorry, I kind of went on a little bit of a soapbox there. So anyways, just wanted to talk about it and the reasons why I haven't really said a whole lot about it, but I do want to make sure that I let people know about where I'm at right now. So that's about the boycott. And if you look there are a couple of channels I know on the network app that are dedicated for it, but there's also the podcast, which I think is really good listen. It's on gameofzero.com. So take a look and, listen to it and, form your own decision. And I guess that's the last thing I would want to say is you should decide for yourself what you want to do with the game. At the end of the day, this is all about, your enjoyment. You're spending time to play a game. And so whether you choose to, to sort of do your own thing. I think we should all support the spirit of wanting the game to be better. And I think that whether you choose to participate in the same way that others or not is completely up to you. Just know that we're all here together. We're all here to make the game experience a little better. I'm doing it in my own way as well. And I appreciate all of your support so far on this. So, I think, this is going to be a conversation I think is going to take place for a long time. And so I do want to encourage this conversation to continue. There are dedicated channels where people are getting together talking about it. Again, let's remember the whole point of this. Let's remember that this is about the community. Let's keep it respectful. We have heard people that want to enjoy the game. They say they're asking the question, whether they should spend or not. And I think just do what you want to do. If we know what where your support is and your spirit lies, then I think that's good enough, at least for me. And so just kind of going back and looking at the chats. Yeah, so, thanks a lot, everybody. This has been a really great experience for me, and I've been looking forward to this as well. I think the timing of the podcast came out really well. I listened to it, and it was definitely something that I resonate with. And, I do engage with the developer team as well. I know that KTC has well in the past as well. And, I'm hopeful that we can start a good dialogue, and I do know that the intention is there. And so let's just keep going. Let's make sure that we enjoy the game, play this, and keep the comments here. So use the comments below. One of the things I would like to request of everyone here is let me know of your experiences and your thoughts. In the comments here. I think other people who are coming in and reading these, they do learn from it as well. I do want to try as much as possible, keep this focus on the strategy and also the sort of, how we can make the game a little bit better. Less so on just, all the negativity that's around here. I'm not saying that people shouldn't feel negative, but I do want to see let's try and find something good that other people who are coming to this channel can enjoy. I'm also very, Just one last thing. You guys know that I have a couple of little kids, and so I'm also very wary of people who are young coming to the channel and getting exposed to some of the things that we talk about. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's keep this positive. Let's keep this friendly, and let's keep this going. So, anyways, I wanted to keep this about 30 minutes. In length, and I did talk a lot about this, and so I will go over in the next video. If I can, more mechanics-based video on how I think you can play this deck. But if I don't do that, at least on Thursday, I'll come back with another stream where we can do some deck building, because I know I definitely need some deck building as well. And I think that hopefully, if I can help some of you out, that'd be great. And I wasn't able to go through a lot last time. I'm going to spend a little bit more time this Thursday to try and get more people the help that they need. So that is all that is all I wanted to cover for today. And if you wanted to talk more about the event, and if you have more questions for me, feel free to reach out to me or join the T-Bone LGOH chat room, and we can definitely continue that conversation. And let me know if you do need some help. I've been getting some really good requests, like a lot of people requesting. I've seen some really creative ideas as well, and I love seeing what you guys are. I love seeing what you guys are coming up with, and just kind of seeing what's available out there. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how I can be helpful, and also help me understand. So give me feedback on what you would like to see more for this channel. How will this be? How will this benefit you, and how could I help you my way? These are all good feedback that I would love to hear. And so, before I go, I'm just going to address some questions and comments here. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody there. So thank you to everybody who are showing support there. And let's see. So King Biggie, So I think that we have new and old players as well. Different people enjoy the game in different ways, and I've heard some people absolutely loving all of the cards here. And so that's just fine. That's exactly what the whole point is. Everybody will enjoy the same way, so a different way. So I'm happy to see that. Happy to help out. So there's also so and then there's people that say like, hey, we choose to play pay to play, and that's okay. Like that's how I said the game should be about for everyone. It should be inclusive, and so the better we can make this an experience for everyone else, I think the overall sort of a game is going to be that much better. So anyways, that's enough for me for today. Thanks a lot again, and I will see you on Thursday for the live stream. If you have questions, feel free to let me know, and I can hopefully help you with your deck building. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good night and enjoy the event. See ya.